I am very disappointed in my husband. My marriage has been struggling for the last year. I, 32F, have been married to my husband, 33M, for 6 years. Together for 8 years, and we have known each other for over 20 years. My husband is extremely accommodating. He doesn't help me with any household chores, even when we both have the same workday. He stalls until I lose patience and do it myself. This took a toll on our relationship, as it is stressful to take care of the house and my daughter alone, and also collect socks and shirts that he scatters everywhere. Now, what was the last straw? We don't have a car, and we needed to go buy some things. I had planned the day to do it in the morning, and he would go with me. I woke up and did several tasks while he stayed on the couch. I didn't say anything because it was his day off. When we were close to leaving, my FIL called and asked for a favor. He got up and said he would help him, it would be quick, and that our FIL would give us a ride afterwards. Okay. It wasn't our plan, but I can wait another 2 hours to go. My FIL is a hustler, lives off freelance work, and is supported by his mother, my husband's grandmother. He never works, always takes money and never pays. It's a mess. In addition to always making inappropriate and false comments, he is a narcissist. That's why my MIL divorced him. Well, 3 hours later they arrive and I get in the car. My FIL asks why my daughter, F4, didn't go to school, and I said that I let her miss it because it was just a play day and she asked to go shopping with me. And he simply says that I'm lazy and I didn't want to take her to school out of laziness, that I'm committed to going to the gym, that I should have the same commitment to school. He was rude and accusatory, as if he was recriminating me. I felt my blood boiling in my veins, firstly because I do 1,000 things a day, I barely have time to rest, and secondly because my father-in-law is the laziest person I've ever seen. He's never worked in his life. I took a deep breath and tried to control myself, because I wanted to curse him. I looked at my husband, waiting for him to say something to his father. Anything. He did not say anything. He didn't defend me. He didn't even try to explain anything. What did I expect? For him to fight? No. But for him to at least say, "Don't talk to my wife like that," or "That's not true." This is not the first time my husband has failed to respond to someone in his family who says something inappropriate. He says it's better to avoid a fight, or "That's just how they are." And on that day, all our marital problems kept playing in my mind. I was very disappointed, and I can't look at him any other way unless I dislike him. I have been fighting for my marriage, but I feel like he isn't fighting for me. And now I really want to file for divorce. I'm hurt and I'm afraid I'm overreacting because of this. Update. Since I wrote here, many things have happened. But long story short, I told my husband it wasn't working for me anymore. I asked for time to put things in order. He didn't respect my space. In a few days, he got sick and ended up staying at home. He was at my FIL's house, and he was sleeping on the couch. He asked us to go to individual and couples therapy, and he said he didn't want to lose me. Well, a few days ago, my BIL came to visit me, and they were talking about our marriage. I'm not proud to say this, but I overheard part of the conversation. My husband said he was trying hard to get back to being intimate, and that he intended to get me pregnant, knowing that with another child, I would never leave him. My BIL laughed and said he would have to pierce more condoms for this. I don't take birth control at the moment, and we are using condoms as contraception. I'm so angry that I've barely been able to look at him the last few days. I've been avoiding him, and honestly, there's no more time to fix our marriage. How could he be capable of something like this? I feel deceived and manipulated in ways I can barely explain. He still doesn't know that I heard, and he doesn't know that I'm going to file for divorce. Update. 2. Not exactly an update, but a rant. Today I went to my great-grandmother's house, my husband's grandmother. We sat down to talk, and she told me about a big fight between Phil and my husband, and that my husband had cut him off. I knew that. They hadn't spoken for weeks. My husband arrived, and we stopped gossiping in the kitchen and talked about trivial matters. At one point, we heard the gate slam. The gate at Grandma's house is noisy, and my husband got up and went to see who had entered. Moments pass, and we begin to hear altered voices. My husband and my FIL were yelling at each other, and my husband was saying things, "You never recognize what we do and the opportunities we give you. You've always been a terrible son, a terrible brother, a terrible father, and a terrible husband. I'm tired trying to help you. I did more than I should have, and you never get better." Yes, Grandma and I were listening behind the door. But when the argument got more intense, I entered the room and started asking them to calm down. Grandma can't be nervous, and she was nervous. I have never seen my husband so nervous in the almost 25 years I have known him. As I said in my first post, he is not confrontational and does not fight. But my husband attacked my father-in-law and pinned him against the wall and shook him. I ran and tried to push them away. At some point, I put my hand on my FIL's arm, and he turned it sharply. I felt pain, but I was too nervous to see what had happened. My husband reacted to this attitude by pressing my father-in-law even tighter against the wall, and it was with great difficulty that I managed to push my husband away, who was beside himself, and expelled my FIL from Grandma's house. My wrist turned purple and swelled at the same moment my husband turned pale when he saw it. We went to the hospital. I spent the rest of the day between doctors and x-rays. No bone was broken, but the orthopedist had to put it back in place, and it hurt a lot. I even cried. I will use a compressor for 5 days. I'm writing this with my left hand. My wrist is hurting a lot. My husband is torn between worrying about me and going to fight with his father. He went to get my medicine and stopped by work to catch some time off. I demanded an explanation when he returned. I want to know why my husband became so extreme. What led to all this? I don't know what to do now. I just wrote to vent. I still haven't told him about the conversation with Beal, nor about getting ready to leave. At the moment, all I can think about is what my FIL did. Please like and subscribe for more.